What's happening, guys? Hope everybody's well. It's Wednesday, 22nd, 8:03. So we've had a lot obviously happening this morning, or last night. I've forgotten his name already, but we had so one of the things that I want to speak about, obviously one thing, the Strait of Hormuz, it's a bit messy, but obviously, you can see here the Iran ceasefire. This is one of the articles that I've looked at. There's a lot more. There's loads of this on the Bloomberg terminal that I've got, but yeah, this is probably the closest. So it's but basically Trump did a tweet on, I can't even remember where it was. He did a tweet on Truth about that he's reversing earlier comments that obviously opposed any rollover, and he's extended the ceasefire because basically Iran couldn't find a negotiator for their negotiation talks, apparently. So everything is completely on the fence here, so we have to tread water. That meme that somebody put in. That was obviously one that's pretty much on road. If anyone's got a view of the Strait of Hormuz, then yeah, you're obviously got one foot in the door. But in regards to everything else, we also had, if I go yesterday, because I forgot his name, I think it's Governor Waller. Right, what Waller spoke about yesterday was quite interesting. So he made a real point of mentioning how it's important for the Fed, so the monetary reserve, to keep its independence. So what is this doing? This is including a new problem into Trump's problems because he's very anti that. He made tweets the other day that power needs to go. So he's on like a tweet war. So they've come back. Fed Waller has come back and has come in and expressed how it's very, very, very important that the Federal Reserve keeps its independence. So obviously, this is a new problem that's being created. Trump wants government to have power over the Federal Reserve, and obviously, it's not had power for a long time. It's and I actually agree with the Federal Reserve. I think you've only got to see what can happen if you get a president potentially that gets a bit power hungry and tries interfering in everything. You need the monetary policy, you know, um, deciding votes to be independent, so that they can't be controlled. Because that's the only way you get a real, fair reflection in any kind of economy. What also happened yesterday was the Ukraine. I was on Twitter yesterday evening, so Ukraine or X, Ukraine have basically bombed a Russian oil plant. So that then put in some more fuel into the fire, as well as obviously, inflation starting to rise, a tiny bit. So, we obviously do have a lot of issues going on here. You can see, CPI data, even for the UK, that's why it's not been too bad. It was as expected. So, everything's kind of everyone's worried about inflation. I think Ukraine-Russia war is going, and everyone's got one eye on it. But I think obviously the Strait of Hormuz has got a massive eye, and I would say also this Federal Reserve battle with Trump is just coming up. So they're just coming up to see obviously what is happening here. So let's wait and see. It'll be interesting. But yeah, we've obviously got a lot of external factors here to be careful of. So let's obviously do what we normally do. Remember our routine. Stay with the dollar. All right. Where's the trend? All right. Yes, we could argue we're pushing higher, but where have we rejected? Right. We've rejected 98,500 here cleanly as well. These are clean rejections. We're back in this area, which you couldn't break before, but obviously, now it's kind of so. I think what has happened now is our consolidation box has extended, right, from this up to here now. All right, that's all it is. I can't see, there's a lot of stuff going on. It could happen at any time, but obviously we need to be aware of this. So I hate to keep on being, it's not me being pessimistic, it's me being realistic. Now is not the time to blast it. I think we did pretty well yesterday. We traded yesterday morning. We didn't trade in the afternoon. So although it wasn't a massive day, I'm pretty happy. 62% win rate yesterday, 80% Monday. Pretty happy with this. It's building up nicely. So yields also had a nice little push, nice little pump there. I was worried that obviously this ceasefire wasn't going to end, but I think what is happening, you've got Chinese ship was intercepted apparently. There's not been any reports of this from China or from Iran, but apparently a Chinese ship was intercepted because they were delivering weapons to Iran. Is that true? Might be, might not be. You've got obviously, yeah, basically the US are keeping their blockade in place as well as, or not blockade, but they're keeping their warships in place, and obviously Iran is continuing with this blockade. So it's pretty horrible, but yeah, it is what it is. But obviously, everyone is, there's kind of two areas here, and I know it's pretty basic, but we've got this area here and this area here, and I'll probably have these drawn on. All right. So I probably would have these drawn on because trend for me on yields will be changing if we cleanly break above here. All right. If we cleanly break, then we're looking at something like this. All right. And again, on the opposite way, and this will happen if we cleanly break below, we're looking at something like this. So these are obviously our two options, but anything here is kind of, no man's land. I know everyone gets a bit excited from a pump. Um, but yeah, we obviously need to be realistic. Everything is still in a downtrend. You've only got to draw, easiest tool to identify that. Just draw your channel tool on. All right, you can see that's in a downtrend. Draw your channel tool on here. Yeah, you can see we're in a downtrend here as well. Yeah. All right. So really, if we are going to break out of this, we've got to be breaking above 99. All right, coming into these previous levels here. All right. So just be aware of that. Um, and yeah, you're not going to be far wrong. So let's go for the ones that we didn't like this morning. Gold, I didn't like this. Why? We've obviously broken below here. We're obviously chosen to still be going against the dollar. I favor it, not pushing up any higher. I favor it coming down because we're in a downtrend. So we've got to continue. So what does that mean? That means that obviously gold has to continue up higher. We did have this big heavy drop yesterday, which just took out this low. So we almost need from a longer term, scalping's not obviously, like this. If your lower time frame makes no difference what the trend is, what the news is, nothing. Ignore it all. Just trade technicals. However, because obviously we aren't, we've got to then be looking again, drawing on, what is happening here. Um, so I think we've got to kind of wait to see whether this level here holds. All right. And I want to see a good London, session here where this level here holds. And then we might be looking to take gold on a longer term view a bit higher up this afternoon. But obviously, this is my kind of area here where I really want gold to kind of hold. Um, and then, maybe this afternoon, potentially we can look to take this a little bit higher. USD JPY. All right, another one here, just moving all over the place. Yeah, you can see here how messy it is. If I draw it on from, say, for example, here, you can see how messy it is here. All right. We're making higher highs, lower lows, higher high. It's just structures all over the place here. All right. So we do have to be aware of this, and obviously we're always trading the highest probability here. Now, you could argue as well that we are in a bit of a downtrend, but obviously it's quite a wide trend, all right, especially for USDJ PPY. So you don't want to be looking to buy up here because we know that there's major support. You don't want to be looking to, sell from down here. So we want to kind of let price, work its way into a bit of a nicer trend. I do think 60 will get hit again. I don't think it can't. However, the indecision of the US dollar is what's keeping yen where it is. All right. B plus trade was Aussie. Liked it. I like obviously trading the dollar against currencies. Remember all we're doing here is trading Aussie against the US dollar. Currently in one trade, bit of drawdown, but not too, worried here. There was part of me, sorry, this was an A plus, A trade here. Just liked it. I'd like the idea of gold popping this one up. I think Aussie should be outperforming the US dollar overall. Do I want this middle one to trigger? Yes, because then I know that obviously dollar will have pushed up a bit higher, yeah, potentially here, and obviously then there's more room for it to tail off to the downside. So I'd rather be in a bit more drawdown, get this one triggered here, and then we look to pump, potentially targeting this level here. I'm not sure we're gonna reach these highs because we obviously haven't had that initial impulsive move yet. So let's wait and see. Euro was the one that I wasn't going to put in because it's very, very similar. I did drop it down from what I wanted to as well. This was ever so slightly higher. It was 5.5. So I've dropped everything down slightly. I think it was 60 actually, 70, 1760. It was in this gap here. So I just dropped it down. So yeah, again, trend here. So obviously stops below because I know someone commented on it. Let's have a look. Could you please explain? Yep, just click the pinned twice in the group, and you'll see obviously the pinned message. So click pinned in a circle twice, and then obviously you'll see how the gradings work. It's important to obviously look at them. I'm not going to put in anything more than a B plus grading. So that's why today we've only got three. But yeah, so your euro again looking for obviously euro to outperform the dollar. But I think markets remember that there's a lot going on here, and what we've got at the moment, we've got loads and loads of sellers, and then we've got loads and loads of buyers. All right, and what that does is that creates sideways markets. All right, because neither one of them are going to take over. Yeah. But when one of them blasts, through, takes these guys out, you'll get, should get some kind of a movement. And we're obviously hoping we're on the right side of it. All right. But I think in regards to why we're selling the dollar this morning, easiest thing there's lots of indecision. All right, no one really knows what's going on, and there's a lot more that can hurt the dollar as opposed to obviously benefit it. GBP as well. UK economy seems to be doing very very well. It's definitely outperforming the US at the moment. So obviously there is no reason why this shouldn't be trending higher. Do I want this to trigger number two? Yes. So the reason why stops, I've wanted to keep them a bit tight. We've obviously had chances of this spike happening again are pretty slim. We've had two back to back, so I would imagine our kind of major level of support here is going to be here, our bottom entry. So that's why this stop is obviously slightly higher, and also in times like this you want to control your risk more than ever. So just be aware of that when you're trading. Now, one thing that I wanted to ask everyone, all right, and be honest, because if you did, it's going to help. It's going to help everyone. So, who traded gold yesterday? Who was trying to buy gold yesterday from here, from here, and obviously who struggled? I don't want to know if you made profit. I want to know if in the evening you traded gold and you struggled, or you had a bad experience, because I know a few of you have, because obviously you've mentioned it to me, but obviously it's gonna help everyone understand, that obviously when liquidity, and I really wanted to bring this up today. So when liquidity on gold is high, right, which is what happened from like 3 o'clock yesterday. Um, so everyone tries to trade it because it's wild. These are the times where you can make 200 quid in less than a minute. So everyone is yeah, I think there's probably a lot more, but obviously, I think majority of the sort of gambling market would have traded all evening, like all evening, because it was wild. All right, it was crazy. But obviously, and what's everyone trying to do? They're trying to buy, and then obviously when this happens, they're then trying to sell. It's not. It's just smart, smart thinking. So all this way down, so cycling, you got to think about personalities here. And I would have been doing the, same thing few years, maybe 6 years ago. You start buying from here. You think equal lows, it can't pop down anymore. And then you start buying from here, and then you start buying from here. And then you think, right, you know what? So you'll buy here, you buy here, and you buy here. Yeah. Now, how the human mind works is, right, this is blasted through. I've got to change tactic here because, the Strait of Hormuz might open, might stay closed. There might be a, missile. I'm going to start entering, cells from here. So this is the mind shift here. This is obviously what I went over in the meeting I was in last Thursday. So mind shifts here. I'm going to start selling from here. I'm going to start, selling from here, All right. So mind shift of your sort of average trader, which doesn't make up a huge amount of the market, but it makes up a little bit of the liquidity that the professionals don't want to miss out on. All right. So that is generally the personality of us. So there's not, yeah, I would say there's nothing wrong with having a go. If you want to have a go at capitalizing or whatever. But obviously, if you get stopped out once, that's when you got to step back, because there is no, we get into that time of trading like an adult, not trading like a child, where every move we've got here is, you've got no reason why you're taking it. You just think it's coming back up. All right. So, I totally get, if someone sees this massive move here and thinks, you know what, I'm going to buy from here, and you get stopped out. I don't mind that. All right. Because I kind of get it. It's an abnormal, move compared to obviously what's been happening here. So, equal low. You could argue with me that that's okay. What's then not okay is you just going for it. All right. And these trades here are the ones which we need to cut out. So to take a look at it, I bet not a lot of people made profit yesterday. I mean, I know a couple who did, and I know a couple who haven't, or I know more of you who haven't. So I'm glad that obviously everyone's being honest, because I want guys in here who haven't traded it, who might be a bit tempted. Remember, we've got different trading personalities here. We've got aggressive guys. I was quite aggressive, and it works in ways, but then it's a bit of a nemesis in other ways. And then you've got a more, relaxed, controlled, not really pushing about money. And obviously that then, is great in some ways and a, nemesis in other ways, So we can all kind of, learn off of each other. And, sometimes me speaking about stuff, it might not go in. But obviously, if I can have, if you guys are honest with each other, you're gonna kind of rather than you as an individual making every mistake in the book, there's how many is there? There's 37 of us in here. Well, if you can make mistakes between each other and obviously, learn there, then that's obviously going to help too. So let's go through it here. We've got Zoom traded gold. Greg traded in the afternoon, won one, lost one, then quit. Yep. Kingston, I traded gold and had a bad experience. I did was looking at Ford 700 wick down and Trump bought it back up, which is not fair. Do you know what I mean? The excuses like this, it's not that's not what happens, It's just like I've explained it, it's personalities and obviously, the general retail market fall into these personalities, So took early, bailed early in profit, then had buys from Asia and got wicked out from 115, missed the whole move. Yeah, so you've got one you got to ask yourself, is it great? Is it part of your routine, your normal daily routine to be trading early, to be trading Asia, or has gold triggered you this influx? It does it every time. All right, it does it every time. Does gold trigger you, to think, what, tonight's the night. Tonight's the night to start trading. But I think gold trading like this is a casino. You even look at it on a 1 minute, it's messy as hell, right? And everyone starts going down and down. Everyone ends up here. So I think the 1 minute time frame is like the dregs of the barrel in the pub. Like every addict like ends up there because it's it's true, it's just it will give you the same feeling as a you know as yeah, going to a casino. So yeah, just obviously be aware of that. But no, I appreciate obviously everyone's honesty. Remember, you being honest about anything is going to help, others. So that's sometimes it's hard obviously for me to come across that personal, touch because it's something that I've been through and I got experience on, but I'm not going through it right now, but I would say anything that's outside of your normal routine, stay away. Or, if you think, what, liquidity is high, a bit like, I don't go to the horse races much, but if I go to the horse races, I might put my days, maximum loss at, 100 quid to 200 quid, So obviously that's what you've got to do, and obviously just trade it to enjoy it, not to try and capitalize on it. So yeah, but no, I'm going to end this here now, guys. So have a great day, and yeah, let's smash it. Have a good one, team. Have a good one.